Welcome to Beyond The Chord with me, Cara.
And me, Malba.
Join us each week where we will talk about the ups and downs of being songwriters over the age of 40 and what it's really like juggling motherhood, menopause and keeping that creative spark alive. As if that wasn't enough, each week we will write a new song together and perform it live on the podcast. So get comfy, grab a cuppa and let's dive in. Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to episode 8.
What?
Yeah.
Episode 8?
Episode 8. Dun dun dun!
That is crazy.
It is. How's your week been? First surprise question.
Well, it's not really a surprise because you ask me every week.
I do.
How has my week been?
That's exactly what you say every week.
It's such a roller coaster of
life is a roller coaster, just gotta ride it.
It was good. It was good. I'm just going to say it was good because I genuinely can't remember what's happened since last week. I'm sure lots of exciting things.
Uh-huh.
But I genuinely can't remember.
Okay.
So how about I ask you how your week's been and then maybe I'll remember how my week's been.
Well, I got shamed online.
You did not.
I did too.
What did you do?
To be fair, it could be warranted. Let's
Oh,
see.
really?
Let's see what you think.
Oh,
It
there
wasn't
is no such thing as shame. I think shame's terrible. Brené Brown says shame's not
I don't know. I think shame has a place.
What did you do?
Right. Well, it was genuinely an innocent error. I was emailing
Was
out.
it Shia LaBeouf's lawyer?
No way. We were really nice about
We
Shia.
were. Sorry, Shia.
Shia. Well, you might be on the phone now though, because you can't say his name.
Sorry.
Libel.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, I sent out an email to my subscribers,
Mm-hmm.
and I was, telling them all about our wonderful podcast.
Yeah.
And I discovered when I was doing a wee bit of online reading about there's different phases of, there's 4 phases of being a woman. We only really talk about 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the young woman who's fertile and all the rest of it,
No, us.
Not we're past that. And then that goes into the motherhood phase.
Yep.
Where you're potentially able to have children. And I say potentially.
If you choose.
Well, but you have the potential. Not everybody can.
Mm-hmm.
And then the phase after that is called the MAGA phase.
Right.
And that's what got me into trouble.
Is that like Magaluf?
No, it's like MAGA Trump.
What? I've never heard that. What is that?
See, someone's not happy.
Someone's stamping.
It's really quite lovely because it's all about the time of a woman's life where the caring hormone is leaving her body and she comes into her own power.
Right.
And there's something to do with a goddess. There is a third eye goddess or something like that. But it's lovely because she becomes very creative. She becomes, she is going through the menopause. It is those menopausal, that decade.
Decade?
Yeah. But it's meant to be a really lovely time before you go into your winter phase.
Oh dear
where
Lord.
which is your crone phase.
So we're in our autumn phase.
So we're in our MAGA phase. So I put that as the heading and subject title of my email, MAGA, which clearly means something else.
What does it mean?
It means make, according to Trump and all his supporters, make America great again.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
It's like a pure mad propaganda disaster.
Right.
And I put that as my subject line. And I went on to Threads, because I like Threads. We've talked about this before. A very nice, loving, kind of supportive community online. And I was like, I think I've just made a mistake. maybe you can keep me right here. I put this as my subject line for my emails, but I don't mean that. I'm not American. I'm like nothing to do with American politics. And I took it. It's all about a whole other thing to do with menopause. And some guy came back and he was like, "You're a racist. You're this. You're that." Like
What?
using clickbait to get people to read your emails.
Oh,
I was like,
that's
"That's not
just
what I was
ridiculous.
doing."
I know, but that's just taking it a step too far, is it not?
I really like. It's the first time that's happened to me. Like clearly, I wasn't like I've never said anything like, online that people care about enough. Like that's the first.
And that's
first
the
time.
thing that gets picked up.
That's the thing they picked up. So I was like, I deleted it. So I thought, oh, I'm not having that, right? Like, no, I don't want to start a fight with a random stranger online. No thanks.
No.
I like this place because they don't do that.
Yeah.
So I deleted the thing, and then I was like, well, hang on a minute. I'll just put up another one saying full transparency. That's not what I meant. I was talking about the MAGA phase, and then explained what that was.
Uh-huh.
And then nobody read it, so I deleted that too. And then I checked my emails to see if anyone had opened it, and about half of the people had. Nobody's commented on it, so I'm assuming
It's just obviously that's...
it's just my own paranoia by that internet man. But then I did say in the email, like, this is not what you think.
Yeah, you did.
I'm changing the acronym.
Subject.
Yeah, I'm changing the acronym to Make Great Amazing Art.
Make amazing great art.
That's the one. Yeah. Make it great.
See, when I saw MAGA, I just thought Magaluf. You know.
Well, there you go. So that was my week. I got shamed online.
That's.
So,
I mean, have you not got anything else to do with your time
clearly.
than annoy random strangers
I know.
about an acronym?
I know. Like it
Well,
really,
each to their own, I suppose. Maybe it really offended him.
to use language which is more your kind of language. I think I triggered him.
Well, it's obviously his stuff, not yours.
But anyway, lots of people are listening, so it doesn't really matter. Screw you, man. I hope he doesn't listen to this.
I think it's
Unlikely. Unlikely.
Unlikely he's going to be listening to a menopause podcast. However, on that subject, maybe this is news coming up, but so it's not confirmed. But I was talking to someone.
Unverified.
This is very unverified. I know. I did laugh at her. I was trying to explain our podcast to somebody the other day, and I was like, when they were talking about, menopause podcasts that are out there that are, factual and health driven, and I was like, that's not really what our podcast is about.
Not our vibe.
It's not our vibe. We literally don't have a clue about menopause, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? Because
I think most women don't.
Yeah, but even in that, when they were saying, "Oh well, we've got a menopause policy," I mean that's news to me. I'm self-employed, so I wouldn't know that was.
You don't have a menopause policy for your self-employment?
I don't have I don't have a
a
menopause policy for myself. I think I need other policies for myself before I would go for a menopause policy. But they were talking about an event that's coming up, and what they described it as was menopause and menopause.
Are you kidding me?
No, but listen, the menopause bit is to get men involved in finding out about the menopause.
It's hard enough
No, but
to
just
get men to understand.
Well, I know, but
just
but I like
the
the
basics.
sentiment. I like the sentiment of, if you happen to be living with a woman who's going through the menopause, maybe some of this might be quite helpful for you to understand. I mean, not that it wouldn't be the top of my priority list, to be fair, but I just thought, that's quite interesting, very inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep you updated.
I'll keep you updated on the Calamity Jane's menopause policy coming soon.
Yeah, we'll do like a PDF and put it in the show notes. Like the days where you
It may or may not be inclusive.
the days where you can't remember words, or
It's going to be an interesting article, that's for sure.
or what you recorded on the podcast the week before, which is usually my chat.
Well, that takes us into our menopause fact
Oh, great!
for
Because
this
I still
week.
can't remember what I did this week. So, what is your menopause unverified fact this week?
Right, menopause fact for this week. Early treatments of menopause. Are you ready for this
I had a
list?
2-week holiday in MAGA.
That sounds alright.
I think that would be a really good thing.
It's not like this though.
No.
Leeches on the genitals and cervix. That's what they used to do to try and cure people or women from menopause. Right, that's just one. There's a list.
What?
Would you want a leech in your cervix? I don't want anything in there, to be fair. Encouraging vicarious menstruation via hemorrhoids, nosebleeds, and phlebotomies.
What?
Do you know what a phlebotomy is?
Well, I know what a phlebotomist is.
What's a phlebotomist?
They're the people that take blood from you.
Oh, well, yeah. The removal of blood from a vein with a cutting instrument, formerly done to reduce blood volume as a treatment of disease. And remember menopause is a disease.
It's a dis-ease.
It's a disease. Cupping. Now,
Well,
I think that's. I think
I
people
would be
do
right up
actually
for
do
that.
that for. They do it for like period pain, don't they?
Do
For
they?
lots of things.
Well, they do it
But-
like I have seen people's backs after they've had
Mhm.
cupping. I've never had it, but I would be right up for trying it.
There's no like extraction involved in that, like the other ones
Extraction of brain cells.
of blood, mostly.
I don't think that would help you.
Sweating.
Well, I'm
You
just
can sweat the menopause out of you.
we'll just go into a flipping sauna and not come out for a week. And that'll sort us right out.
Unless you're Prince Andrew. He can't sweat.
Oh, I don't get that. What's that?
That's a whole thing about the reason. Like, what? You don't know that reference?
I don't. Be honest, I don't watch the news or read the newspapers.
I think I'll cut that bit out then. The other one, the next one is cetones.
What's that?
A thread or the like inserted beneath the skin to provide drainage or to guide subsequent passage of a tube.
Oh, that sounds horrific.
That sounds horrific. And the last one, bathing. Just
Nah.
having a bath.
Nah.
I'll get rid of it.
No.
Just have a bath.
Oh.
Like they do when you're pregnant and they say, go have a
Go and
bath
have
and
a
here's a
bath
couple of
and then
paracetamol
you'll
and
be
you're in the
fine.
throes of labour. Like,
Come back in 24 hours.
you'll be like, okay.
A bath will cure it.
Mhm.
Although you can't downplay how good a bath is, although not.
Yeah,
know.
but
I
for
was gonna say I can't
relaxing
remember
more
the
so
last time
than
I had a
pain
bath.
relief.
But I've had showers. Full disclosure. No, not as pain relief. I mean,
No.
I suppose it does calm you down, but I wouldn't have thought that was like a treatment.
Well, according to the past.
Just as well we don't live in the past then, isn't it?
Well, I mean, more of the treatments
That's
these
a
days.
metaphor.
Mm. Treatments these days are HRT, or I mean, I guess there are more and more holistic.
Well, it's
Therapeutic.
as a part of a series of things, I suppose. A holistic way of looking at it.
And we're in no way like qualified to actually talk about that.
Any of them.
Any of that.
But I quite like that because I think it's. I mean, yes, it would be nice to be more knowledgeable, but we'll get more knowledgeable in season 2 when we get people on who actually
Know what they're
know
talking about.
That's
That's true.
I don't think our listeners are here for our menopause facts.
I think they are.
Are they?
Or unverified ones, yeah.
Well, I are unverified ones, but, maybe next season we'll do some verified ones.
Well, I mean,
I think they're still useful information.
it's useful information, and it all relates to how we deal with our menopause, which is through creativity.
And laughter.
Yes, by being creative.
And unverified facts.
And random internet facts.
Well, thank you for that, splendid insight into menopause of the past.
Into the treatments of extracting the menopause from you in the past. So that it no longer was a burden on your womanness. So that you could then transform to become the perfect woman.
The MAGA.
The MAGA. Oh dear, we're going to be in lots of trouble.
Well, it just shows you how little I know, because I didn't know that that's what that reference was.
I can't believe that you didn't know that. That blows my mind. I
Well,
mean, the guy was president for how long?
I know,
1 or 2
but
terms?
it's it's almost like a frequency that just isn't in my sphere of resonance. Do you know what I mean?
You missed a hell of a show.
Just it's not. It's just beyond
Beyond
the chord.
Beyond the chord.
Beyond the resonance of the chord.
So far beyond.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch the news or read newspapers.
Okay.
I'm trying to sort myself out here. Do you know what I mean?
I don't have time for anyone else.
That's really my priority, trying to sort myself out.
Well, do you remember last week we talked about setting up a new... Oh my god, no you don't. Of course you don't. So last week...
What did we talk about last
I
week?
said to you I'd started a new habit where I was wearing perfume.
We did talk about habits.
Every day.
Yes, I do remember that now.
And we set a challenge to start a new habit that would make you feel less... it would make you feel more visible, feel better, feel more confident. Did you start a habit? You can't even remember what you did last week, so I don't know why I'm asking you this question.
I forgot to do my homework.
That's not good enough.
It's not. But, I
mean, you've been very productive this week.
Have I?
Yes. Haven't you?
I'm not sure. Oh no, I have been productive. I did my music bio.
There you go.
But no, I didn't do my new habit. I'm finding it difficult to embed any kind of habit at the moment.
Okay.
And I think that's a great opportunity to really try and be kind to yourself when it isn't going, in terms of, it was funny because I was listening back to our podcast about sugar.
Uh-huh.
And
it was like a couple of episodes ago.
A couple of episodes ago, and I was like, oh, I was listening back to it going, oh my god, that sounded amazing. Like, I was super clear and full of energy. And yeah, this week I have mostly been eating sugar. So I think, but what I find really interesting about that is that, it is an opportunity to go, okay, that's maybe not the best choices, but how can you find a way to still be kind to yourself when the habits aren't there and the consistency of making you look after yourself a priority. So no, I haven't done my homework of setting a new habit.
Well, that's
Can you
going to
remember
put
the word there? Never mind, do it.
That's going to
What
put
was
this.
your new habit?
My new habit was wearing perfume every day, and I've stuck to it.
Oh, that's a great new habit.
It was.
Well, I thought you were going to add another new habit.
Well, no, I mean.
So you really haven't done your homework either.
I set the homework. That's my homework, to come up with the homework for the next week, which I have, but it's pointless.
I'm trying to think, have I done anything that I could potentially say, yes, that's my new habit?
Well, you did your bio.
I did my bio, and
really
that was
great.
massive, to be honest, because I 2 days of going, oh, I don't know if I can say anything very nice about myself, because it's really hard sometimes to take that step back and not like, but just actually be an observer of what you do or what you believe your value is. So that was really, really massive, and still needs a bit of work, but even just getting that down was a massive step forward. But yeah, so I haven't done my homework, but I did do that, which I had to do for Monday, so I kind of did do some homework.
You did your own homework.
On your own planet, love.
Well, I was going to suggest...
What is your homework for this week?
The challenge for this week, the challenge, is what will you extract from your approach that holds you back from being creative?
So what would you... So rather than add in...
what would you take out?
To what prevent you from being...
Yeah, what's like the block that stops you from making the time, or... And I don't just mean like the... Obviously we all have practical issues. We all have like lives, so things get in the way, but if there's like a specific block that kind of stops you from going to the guitar or going to the piano or going to sit down and think about a concept for a song, or...
Well, I think what... Like, less of maybe something that I could take out, but what I did kind of realise again is that actually when I'm under a lot of pressure to get something done for a deadline, I'm not the kind of person that has it done in plenty of time before it.
Right.
And I do it at the last minute and be accepting of the fact that it's good enough. Yes, if I'd spent weeks working on it and refining it, but that's really not how I work. So I'm trying to think what I would take. I think what I am learning to do or take out is that voice that says, you can't do it, or you're not good enough to do it. And when that comes up, I go, actually, that's not based in any reality. And in a very nice way, just shut it. Do you know what I mean? To myself. Or turn that volume down. So, but I think a huge part of that as well is your physical space. When I find that everything's all over the floor or all over my desk, and there isn't any head space or physical space, that has a big impact.
I totally agree. I'm like that. I didn't think it bothered me so much, but it really does. I don't like working in chaos.
And if we were like filming this just now, you would see me making a face, because that's where I live most of the time. But it isn't conducive to...
I just like when I'm in my own space, it has to have like my wee corner has to be clear, or clear enough, I just can't have things everywhere. Like, I need to know where it all is. So it might look disorganized to somebody else who's walked in, but to me it's like, well, I know where everything is and it's like clear.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But what about you then? What are you gonna kind of take out of, or what do you think holds you back? So,
well, at the moment, so I was, as well as doing this podcast, I had started doing like a wee email series about my album. And I was recording like wee audio bits for that. And I managed to get like 2 or 3 done, and I haven't done any more. I don't know what's blocking me from doing that, because it's like this album has been so difficult to promote. And I don't mean that in the sense that I don't like talking about it, or, you know, or any of the things that is involved in it. I do, but I just find it arduous to talk about it, or to go on socials and talk about it and promote. Like, I just can't. I just don't have the energy for that. Like, it doesn't feel right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's really difficult, you know, because I think as a self-releasing artist, you know, it comes back to, you know, and we've talked about this before, not on the podcast, but, you know, I'm sure it will be something that, you know, might be part of a season, but around that, having to be your own promoter, your own marketing person, your own finance person, your own mental health person, you know, the business side of being a self-releasing artist, irrespective of the creativity part. And sometimes that's so hard to do.
It's really difficult.
You know?
It's really difficult to keep up any kind of momentum.
I can't be bothered, to be honest. I mean, that's terrible, isn't it?
That doesn't bode well when you've got an album coming out later in the year.
I know. Maybe I'll be bothered by that time, but
maybe
but
just
it's
a wee
almost
bit.
like it's just almost like, I suppose, how you reconcile that is part of, you know. I mean, I'm doing a short course at UWS, University of the West of Scotland, where I did my masters. It's a record and release short course to help me get over. It's really telling, actually, that's what you brought up as our topic, because part of that is, you know, going into the studio, recording a song and going through the process of releasing it, and for me that's been a massive block. And that's why I've sat on my album for coming up for 4 years.
Really? Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
3 or 4. I don't know, I'll lose track because it was in the middle of the pandemic.
Right.
But for me, that was, I suppose, me feeling like I was closing off that part by going back there to help me work on that block and actually release something, because it does feel like I can't move on until I actually start releasing music. And that was a part of, you know, what we were talking about around, you know, social media strategy and all that, you know. And, you know, it's almost like, you know, whether you embrace social media or not, I suppose it's a mindset thing, which is part of this season. It's like how you approach all of that kind of stuff. Because all as I want is, I mean, I'm not asking much, but I just want to be part of a community that I can support and that can support me. And, you know, it's a... What is the word? Here we go. Maybe we should have this as a part of the podcast every week.
The brain fog corner.
Yeah. the word that you can't remember, and now I can't even remember what I was talking about. Never mind the word.
Community. I think
Community,
we're building that
yeah.
here. Like,
yeah, well, I hope
really
so.
do.
I hope so.
Like,
I hope we're building that community, because I think for me that connection is so fundamental. I mean, it's fundamental to us all as human beings, I suppose, but you know, for me as an only child, and, you know, obviously I have my own family, but you know, having no siblings and things like that, for me, the people that I make connections with are like my family, rightly or wrongly. But it's almost like, you know, if you don't want to be part of this social media thing, you can't really survive as a self-releasing artist.
There's a big narrative around that.
How can you do that out with a social media context unless you build your own community and, you know?
But it doesn't even make sense, because social media is so saturated with self-releasing artists.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's face it, there's like 10 a penny. We're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to get our music out there, and, you know, we're all like, let's build a community and let's make connections. That's what people are saying on social media, but the action behind it isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, from what I've seen, I mean, I could be wrong. Like, I might be completely misinterpreting the whole thing, but it doesn't feel genuine.
Mm.
Whereas, like, the world of podcasting seems to be a whole different thing. Like, people genuinely, they find the things that they like, and they stay and build and talk and engage and converse.
And I think that is the, you know, I'm not sure I want to be part of that big machine, even though I know I have to.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean, though? Because I do want genuine connection. I don't want somebody to, you know, I want to, you know, we've talked about this before, you know, about the whole point of us being creative women, songwriters, you know, that, well, I know my purpose and you're still working on yours, do you know what I mean? But, you know, I want to genuinely make connection with people.
Yeah.
I think that's all really humans want to do.
Well, that takes us quite nicely into our song of the week.
Does it? That's amazing. You'd think we knew what we were talking about.
You'd think it was planned.
Really? Really?
And now, for the song of the week, Goodbye to the Old Me. Living in the shadow of a woman I don't recognize, a ghost. Now then out some words, a riddle, a puzzle to figure out in a public crowd. I wish I was right. I wish I had time on my side. I'm sick of the hiding. I'm sick of the fighting against the tide. Goodbye. Goodbye. Stepping into waters, a new life begins again. I'm honored, given all the chances I've squandered. This time I really want to enjoy it. Oh, and I know I am right.
That's it for this week's episode of Beyond the Chord. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did making it. And join us next week for more chat and tunes. And in the meantime, if you want to send us your thoughts, you can follow us on Instagram at Beyond the Chord. We would love to hear from you. Until next time.